Oh, beautiful soul. Welcome back to this week's episode of the You Unlimited podcast. I am so grateful that you're here and that you are taking the time. And we're going to make this quick because I know if you're tuning into this episode, you are wanting some time saving ideas. We're going to make this quick because I want to provide you with something that's going to help you transform your to-do list where things are feeling really heavy, where you just feel like, oh, I just don't even want to show up for this anymore. It's just feeling like there's just so much to do. I'm going to give you a way to start to really tune in and how to actually transform your to-do list into something that is going to feel light and it's going to allow you to get things done so much faster. Because sometimes we end up building things in our life and in our business where suddenly things feel heavy. We start procrastinating on certain things. We just don't do them. Or we end up kind of finding ourselves in the cyclical pattern of just avoiding certain things because they're so heavy, or we push through them and we feel exhausted at the end of the day, burnt out by our day to day life, that we don't have the ability to really show up for the people that we love the most, our children, our spouses, our partners, our friends, whoever these people are, because we're doing things that feel really, really heavy in our business. And so I'm really excited to share with you and kind of walk you through this process that I channeled about how to actually elevate the things that are actually listed on the to-do list so that you're in a higher frequency, higher vibration, and you can call in things that are more in alignment with what you want. So I'm going to give you an example. So if you're looking down at your to-do list and you're like, okay, I've got this reel that I have to edit and I have to get that out today. And I've been kind of putting it off for the last week. I went to an event last week and the thought of actually sitting down and editing the reel and posting it, it just feels like it's taking forever and I don't really want to do it. And yet at the same time, I feel like I should do it, but oh, so much time has passed that is the event now a moot point. Tell me if that's ever happened to you, right? This is just an example. So, with that in mind, here would be some of the things that I would recommend when you start looking at the things that you're quote unquote supposed to do or should be doing in your business. Because a lot of us get kind of caught up in even we're doing things, but we're not necessarily enjoying our day to day, right? Like maybe it doesn't feel like a total push and it doesn't feel like we're avoiding it, but it's falling somewhere in the middle where we're just kind of feeling numb or blah about our business. Like it's like not really growing as quickly as we desire, or we're just kind of feeling like we're going through the motions. You could easily fall into that category too, where you just kind of feel a little bit blah about business right now. And this is going to help you too. So, what I always advise my clients to do when they're feeling any of these ways is they essentially, and I'm going to drop this down into the show notes so you don't have to remember every single thing I said. I literally created a PDF for you to make it really, really simple. But essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to write down each of the things that are on your to do list, and you're actually going to rank them from 1 to 10. 10 being total flow state. I could do this in my sleep. I absolutely love doing this. I could do this all day long. To 1 being, I want to jump off a ledge. Like I am just like, I will do anything but this task. And I want you to start to rank each of these to do items and see where they land. Now, for anything that is below a 5 and under, and you can even do this for things that are like a 6 or a 7, but anything that's a 5 or below, I will invite you to do one of 3 things with those tasks. The first one being look at that task and say, can I throw it away? Like, do I actually have to do this task? Does it make sense to do this task? Or can I actually throw it away? So something like that would be, I'll give you just an example of like a day-to-day thing. Maybe today is trash day and you are like at your wit's end, you're exhausted, you can't even imagine to get up and put the trash to the curb. You're looking at your to-do list and you're like, do I have to do that today? Or can I actually wait until next week when they're going to pick up the trash again? Right? Like sometimes we have these things on our to-do list and we're just kicking our butts and forcing ourselves to just do, and there's no reprieve. There are some items on our to-do list that we can throw away, right? And there's also items on our to-do list where sometimes we have them on there and we just habitually do them, but they're not actually needed and they're not actually moving the needle. So little things like where you may be doing stuff where you're just feeling like, okay, is this really aligned or is this a task that I could actually just honestly throw away and it wouldn't matter either way? You know what those tasks are in your business when you look down at the to-do list and you're like, I could toss this, right? So that's one item that I would invite you into. throw the task away if you don't actually need it. But sometimes we add it to the list to have us feel more worthy, to have us feel like we're busy, to have us feel like we're doing something, but it's not actually doing anything for us in our business. Let's throw those tasks away, right? The second thing you can do with a task that's a low vibration or that's not feeling like it's aligned is, can you delegate that task? Right? And I know that seems straightforward, like, okay, obvious, right? But here are different ways that you can actually start to delegate it because you can get creative with this, right? Some of the ways that we can delegate are, of course, maybe you hand it off to your spouse, maybe you hand it off to your VA, maybe you hand it off to a team member, maybe you hand it off to AI, right? Maybe you hand it off to someone who's young and hungry and who wants to intern with you and who would do it for free if you would, like, in exchange for a testimonial and for experience and to just mentor underneath you, right? Like, there are different ways that we can hand off these tasks that will really, really support us in the long run. And given how advanced AI is, a lot of these mundane tasks can be given to AI. So a simple way of kind of figuring out how to do that is using AI, going into ChatGPT, going into Claude, going into Gemini, whatever tool you use, and saying, as an AI expert, how would you automate my inbox, right? Like my emails. How would you actually utilize this tool to make my life easier and give it to me step by step on how exactly to set that up, as if I've never done this before and I don't know how to do it, right? And I use Gmail or I use Microsoft 365 or whatever it is. You can ask AI to say, how can I use you to make things more effective, right? It's a great tool to utilize and say, and make it simple. Give me an exact step by step on how to do this, right? So AI can absolutely take over a lot of these jobs that we're feeling heavy. So know that you can always outsource, but we can get creative on certain things too. So think about your household. Are there certain things that you do every single week that you're like, man, if I could just not do one more thing today, I would be so happy? And can you task your child to do it? Can you task your husband to do it? Right? Or your partner? Or can you task a neighbor, a friend? Like, there are many, many people in our life that would absolutely be willing to do that. We just have to ask. And sometimes we feel like, oh, well, because I'm the person that always does it, I should just do it. And it's like, no, take a minute to actually say, like, I could use a little support here. And it feels really good to support other people. So when people come to me like, hey, is there any way you could give me a ride here? Or is there any way you could actually do that thing for me? I'm like, sure. Like, if I have the bandwidth, the energy, I love helping other people. And the people in our life love helping us too. It's a feel good moment. So honestly, it's robbing them of a feel good moment, right? You could reframe it as like, I could rob someone of this really feel good moment. So, like, honey, will you take out the trash? Right? You could easily shift it in that sort of way. But it's about knowing that you're worthy of being supported. So if there's a part of you that's like, no, I don't want to give this to someone else. Now you're actually, too many things are happening, but you're feeling like maybe you're not worthy of receiving support, or you're saying, oh, they can't do it. So essentially, you're disempowering the other person from doing it when you could easily just ask them and teach them a new skill or let them lean into being empowered. Like when we think about our children, right? No, they can't do it. I should just do it on their behalf. What if you empowered them to learn how to do it and then they just continued to do it forever moving forward? Little things like that I think about with my 5-year-old, like, getting his breakfast in the morning. Like, that used to be something that I would just, like, every day just do that for him without even thinking about it. And at some point, I was like, "You know what? He's 5. He could probably get his own breakfast, set it down, open his own package." Like, I taught him how to use his little, like, baby kid scissors to open up the little package, of, like, what he eats in the morning. So it's, like, little things like that where it's, like, 1, he's feeling, like, independent, but 2, it's taking that to do off my plate. So we can get creative there. So again, just starting to recap, and there's going to be one more after this, but recapping, you're looking at your to-do list and you rank it 1 through 10, 10 being total flow state, 1 being center splits on nails, would rather just throw myself off a ledge. No, thank you. Then we're going to want to do something with it. And the first one is, can I trash it? Do I really need to do this? Is it just, am I doing it just to feel worthy? To cross something off my list? Am I just doing it to avoid other things that I don't want to do? 2 being, how can I delegate it? Delegate it to AI, delegate it to your partner, delegate it to a team member, delegate it to a VA, hire a VA, right? Start to look at different ways to bring a team member into your business, such as maybe you invite someone from the Philippines to join your team. I found a unicorn from the Philippines who joined my team. And it has been absolutely incredible to have her on my team and so supportive in so many ways. And it's been such a powerful move to have someone be a full time person who's supporting in my business to really take my business to the next level. And it's been such a win-win across the board when it comes to what she was asking for from a salary rate and the ease and flow that I was able to do that with and pay someone full time to be a team member on my team, right? So it's little things like that where the dollar just goes so much further in the Philippines. It's like such a win-win because all the things that she has said, and it's been such a beautiful experience having that support. And I'm so grateful that it's been such a win-win. So that is a great way to delegate and to invite someone onto your team. The last one being, so if you can't trash it, you can't delegate it, and it's something that you have to do, here's what I would actually invite you into. How can you change the energy in the task itself, right? If you're like, no one else can do this, and be honest with yourself, is that really true? If you are truly the only one that can do that, and you can't train someone to do it or just hand it off, and you truly can't task it or trash it, how can you change the energy in which you do that thing? So, when I first started my business, bookkeeping was one of those like it was a one task for me where I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. It just feels heavy. I don't want to do it. I want to be focusing on the spiritual, high vibe, channeling, For me, it just felt like this like very 3D task that I had to lean into. And so what I knew though was like that was going to be something that was going to amplify my business and it was going to deeply support me in what I was doing. It was creating a masculine structure for my feminine flow. It allowed me to spend more time channeling and doing all of these things. But I needed to set up a bookkeeping system. So what I did was I knew that I had to do the task. Now, at the time when I was setting up my bookkeeping, I wasn't in a place where I wanted to hire for that role. Could I have hired? Absolutely. Now, would I hire? Yes, absolutely. I did just hire for this. But before that, when I couldn't hire for the role, just didn't make sense financially at that time. And then when I knew that I had to do it, because at some point I need to know what all my numbers are, what I did was I took myself to a coffee shop, right? Like I started to change the energy in the task itself. So what I did was I was like, today I'm going to take myself to this really cute coffee shop right down the street. They have the best matcha in town. I add the cold foam. Like I was like, I am getting my favorite drink and I'm going there and I'm going to sit there and finish my bookkeeping today. Like today I am fully dedicating to bookkeeping. And because I was out of the house, I knew that at some point I would want to go back to my house. So I had a bit of a time limit around the task itself. Two, I was surrounded by good music because I just plugged in to good songs in the background. And then like I put my headphones in and I was jamming out. And then I got my favorite latte. I went up there and got some meals because I stayed up there for a pretty long time because I was really setting things up. And it was so perfect because what I was able to do was at some point, bookkeeping started becoming, I started associating energetically. This is a fun task. I get my matcha when I do it. It feels good to do the bookkeeping. Actually, now that it's organized, I'm so grateful to know what my numbers are. And then at some point, I started automating my bookkeeping, right? Where I was able to have systems, AI, pull my numbers in through Stripe and through all these things, organize it, categorize it, all of these things, where suddenly, and it would pull in my expenses and it was pulling in what I was making and it was automatically pulling it in. I started to create rules inside of my QuickBooks that allowed for me to not have to manually do all of the things. So again, I was creating masculine structure for feminine flow, but I had to do that by changing the energy in which I was doing it, delegating some tasks eventually by one, I eventually hired someone else. But two, I also set up rules that made for a lot more ease and flow when I stepped into QuickBooks, right? So I invite you to do one of these three things when you're looking at your to-do list. And here's why. Ultimately, when you're starting to either trash it, delegate it, or change the energy in which you're doing it, all three of these things are going to raise your vibe because you're not going to be focused on, oh, I have to do that thing. I really don't want to edit the reel. And now it's been 3 weeks since the event happened, and I'm just going to throw away the footage altogether. It doesn't even make sense to share it, right? So now what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to say, oh, I just outsourced it. Someone else created the reel itself, and now all I have to do is upload it, or they uploaded it. That was so easy. Or I just bought a tool that uploads it across all social platforms, Vista Social, right? That's something that me and my team use that allows me to post one time across all social networks. So it's great. I don't have to go in and copy paste across all of my different social channels. So this is the beauty of when we start to really tune in and say, how can I make my life easier? And the more that we can do that, the more higher our vibration is, the happier that we feel when we're living life, the more we're actually going to attract in the things that we desire. So if I'm ultimately feeling more joy throughout my day, I'm feeling less of that heavy energy, I'm actually going to be a match for things that bring me more joy. And what could that equate to? That could equate to things like more clients, things like more money flowing in, things like more ease and flow, joy with the podcast growing, joy with meeting a new person at a coffee shop, joy with spending more time with my family, right? All of these things. So here's that's the beauty of when we start to actually transform our to-do list. So again, I wrote all of this out in PDF form. So all you have to do is fill it out and it makes it really, really simple for you to actually do this. So with that, drop down into the show notes, download that document so that you can start to do that. And once you have that document, you can use it over and over and over again. Or you might even just do it in your head, where at some point you might even say, like, okay, I've already downloaded it. I've written it all out. It's all organized for me. It's become such muscle memory that now I'm just starting to shift things in real time because I've done this exercise many times now. So but the first couple times we do it, it does make things a little more streamlined when we have something kind of written out or printed off, or we can use it online where we can just fill it out, because it starts to almost like organize and feng shui your thoughts in a cool way. And then the first time we do things, sometimes it's nice to have it written out versus just audibly hearing something. At least it is for me. So that's why I created the actual document based on the process that I just walked you through. So if you think that that would be helpful, drop down in the show notes, grab that. I'm telling you, I use this every day, and it is something that has transformed myself, my business, my life, because ultimately I'm operating a higher vibration and I'm no longer feeling like I have to do it all myself. I'm not feeling burnt out by my business. And it's really had me shift the way that I show up energetically in life. And so when I walk into a room because of that, my vibration is higher because I'm not bogged down by all of these like shitty to-dos that I don't wanna do, right? I've started to delegate and I've started to actually throw stuff away, or I've just shifted the energy in which I'm doing it because it feels so much better in my body. So, with that, I am sending you so much light and love. I hope that this was supportive and kind of expanding your thinking around, like, the things that you have to do, the mundane stuff like that. There are ways to actually shift the things that you're doing more and more often. So, I really invite you into doing that. And I can't wait to hear what happens when you start to actually lean in and realize you have so much more control over the energy in which you're playing in. So, with that, I'm sending you so much light and love. And until next time.